up, you guys? I'm Tatiana, this is my orange baboon tarantula, and you're watching Tatiana's Tiny Zoo. In today's video, we'll be going over the Pterinochilus murinus, and everything you need to know before getting one. This OBT was one of the first tarantulas I ever got, I think maybe the third or fourth, and she's been with me for over 5 years, so this species is very close to my heart. I don't really think this tarantula is a good beginner species, but I got one as a beginner and I'm still alive, and the tarantula's still alive, so if you really want one, this video will tell you everything you need to know about their care. This tarantula goes by a lot of names, including orange baboon, OBT, orange Bitey Thing, the Mombasa Golden Starburst tarantula, PTerror, and more. Needless to say, they have a reputation, and I will tell you why in just a little bit. This spider is incredibly popular with tarantula keepers because of its beautiful coloration. It's often a stunningly bright shade of orange or a rusty red, although different color variations do exist. Like most tarantulas, females live significantly longer than males and grow larger as well. Females can reach a leg span of 5 or more inches and live well into their teens with the proper care. Meanwhile, males reach a leg span of about 4 inches and only live around 4 to 5 years. Females are generally thicker and more robust, while males remain spindly with long legs and a smaller abdomen. Regardless of if it's a male or female, the OBT is notorious for being incredibly fast, and some keepers even accuse it of teleporting from one spot to another. They do have the ability to run faster than our eyes can keep up, and that is one reason this tarantula might not be the best for new owners. This species is an Old World terrestrial tarantula. Old World meaning they come from a different part of the globe, are generally less hairy, and are typically faster and have a more painful and venomous bite than their New World counterparts. Orange baboon tarantulas are native to Central and Southern Africa. There are known populations in Kenya, Zambia, Angola, Congo, Zimbabwe, and more. Their alternative name, Usambara, comes from the Usambara mountain range in Tanzania, where many of the original specimens were caught and imported for the pet trade. In the wild, these guys prefer open areas with low vegetation and thrive in loose, clay, or sandy soils found throughout the African savanna scrublands. While this species can and does occasionally make its own burrows, they honestly seem to prefer to web up branches, cork bark, use existing animal burrows, or other accessible hidey holes. They have also been found living semi-arboreally, using hollowed out trees as their home, although I've never seen my OBT exhibit any arboreal tendencies. Being so widely spread, the OBT is a very adaptable species, which helps make them a sturdy spider in captivity that can tolerate various care standards. I keep my orange Bitey Thing at the same room temperature that I keep all of my other tarantulas. As long as you keep your house above 68 degrees Fahrenheit, your teas should be just fine, although they prefer slightly warmer temps. The only difference between this guy and other tarantulas is that the OBT prefers drier conditions, so you can cut back on misting and watering your enclosures. As for the tarantula enclosure itself, it all depends on how large your tea is. A pill bottle or small AMEC box would be perfect for a sling that's smaller than 1 inch. As it molts and gets bigger, you can move the sling to larger AMEC boxes or other plastic cup-like containers. While your tarantula is still 1.5 inches or smaller, it's important to remember to keep the humidity of your enclosure slightly higher than you would for an adult tarantula. As your tarantula reaches its adult size, you have almost unlimited enclosure options. Fish tanks and critter keepers work well for these tarantulas, as well as fancier kits that you can buy online. Personally, I stick to critter keepers at the moment, and they've worked very well for me. The most important thing when choosing an enclosure is good ventilation, plenty of depth for substrate, and a secure latch or lid. As far as substrate goes, I recommend filling at least half of your enclosure with a pre-made mix or your own blend of eco-earth, topsoil, and play sand. This gives plenty of opportunities for burrows, as well as keeps the tarantula safe if it falls off of the side of its enclosure. Remember that this species does like it less humid than most tarantulas, so regular misting is not required. I recommend overfilling the water dish and letting it seep into the substrate about once a week. I also recommend offering this species various options for hides. My enclosure includes 2 pieces of cork that the tarantula switches between, and plenty of branches or sticks to anchor webs to if she chooses to make a web tunnel. You can even try giving them a cork round to try and stimulate their arboreal behaviors, but again, I've never had mine take any interest in using vertical space. My OBT has been an incredible eater, and only rejects a meal when she is about to molt. She will definitely tell you when she is hungry, coming out and surfing the bottom and sides of her enclosure when she's ready to eat. Adults of this species can be fed a variety of prey, including crickets, superworms, dubia roaches, and hornworms. Tiny slings should be fed pinhead crickets or even pre-killed mealworms, depending on how small your individual tarantula is. As your spider grows, you can increase your feeder size as well. Adults should be fed once a week to once every other week, and slings should be fed more often, averaging about once every 5 to 6 days. Old world tarantulas have an intense venom that is medically significant, although it's not very well studied. And although they don't have urticating hairs that they can flick as a defense, this species readily goes into threat poses and will bite if provoked. Pair that with their incredible speeds, and this is not a tarantula I recommend handling unless absolutely necessary. As with any person or animal, personalities may vary from each individual. I have never seen my T slap the ground, which is a common defensive tactic of this species, although she has bolted from her enclosure on more than one occasion, and let me tell you, that orange streak racing across my floor really gets my heart pounding. With all that being said, their care is relatively easy, although their personalities really suck. They make a wonderful display animal for the right home, but I would recommend newer tarantula hobbyists start with other species before moving on to this beast. Well, that's all my PTerror and I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this quick care guide for one amazing and infamous tarantula species. If you did, be sure to like this video and leave a comment down below about your favorite tarantula species. I might just make a video about it. As always, I'd like to thank my Patreon supporters. Your dedication to my animals and my content means the world to me. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.